Hi folks, it's your buddy, it's your pal, Karnak, Star Wars Armada Explained. We're going to be looking at the YV-666 today. It's an Imperial Squadron for the Empire. So there are two uniques that come along with the YV-666. One comes with the Squadron Pack, and another one comes in the Rebellion in the Rim expansion, campaign expansion. So I have the Lambda shuttles out here because it's going to be relevant for touching on Morello Evol. Is that how you say his name? But we'll get to him. We're going to talk about the generic and Bosk first because they're simple, they're easy, they take very little time. So let's dive right in. So the YV-666 Generic Squadron. How do you know you can? It's not unique. Well, there's no dot or bullet point in front of its name. It means you can bring as many of them as you have squadron points, which in a standard 400-point game is up to 134. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the card, you'll see their icon. Opposite of that is their point cost. They're only 15 points, and for what they can do, that sounds reasonable. But as I'll kind of touch on a few things about why we don't see the squadron very often. So the YV-666, you can see in the yellow box there, it can move up to a distance of distance 2, excuse me. So you can see it's a bit on the slow side. The next box there you'll see is its hull value. It does have 7 hull. It's really, really beefy. Anti-squadron armament of 2 blue die, 2 black die, really nice. But then its anti-ship armament is only a single blue die. So it's great at attacking fighters. It has high hull, which is also awesome. But when it comes to helping out to hit ships, I mean, a single blue die, as we get into his keywords, he's not bomber. There's not anything there that can ever help it against ships, which is only a 50-50 chance to do 1 damage. And why not bring something that can bomb better and still also dogfight? Cough, TIE Defender, cough. And again, the speed 2 is just really limiting. They're so slow. They have 3 keywords. They come with grit, which is you're not prevented from moving while you're engaged by only 1 enemy squadron. So, for example, if this YV-66 was engaged by Bosk at distance 1, the YV-66 can be like, nah, son, I'm out, bounce. He's not prevented from moving away. But if he is engaged by, say, something that also has heavy, like this Lambda shuttle here, that's technically 2 squadrons engaged with you. Grit doesn't come into effect. You can't move away until you do destroy one of those squadrons. So that is how grit works. Let me put these guys back. The next keyword he has is heavy, which again, heavy is you're not preventing engaged squadrons from moving away or from attacking ships. So they don't do a super great job at protecting your ships unless your ships are bringing the advanced transponder net upgrade, which only came out with Rebellion in the Rim. And even then, you still don't see that much with them. The third point is where their price, why they cost 15 points. And they have Rogue. So Rogue is you can you can move and attack in the squadron phase. So remember, squadrons typically, in the ship phase, if you activate them, they can move and attack. But if they are not activated in the ship phase and they must activate in the squadron phase, they can only move or attack, not both. Rogue allows these squadrons in the squadron phase to move and attack in either order of your choosing. So you're paying for more points for them to be able to do something essentially at the end of a round. It gives you a better idea of like, okay, his enemy ships are here, maybe some of his squadrons here. Now I can kind of anticipate where things are going to go and how I can set up. But again, the slow movement speed just really limits these squadrons. So unless you're bringing along abilities to kind of help shuttle these guys around, like Squall or fighter coordination teams or some other effect, they just really need help getting around because they're, Imperials are all about aggression and offense typically. They're not wanting to sit and wait compared to like a Rebel squadron, like a YT-1400, that it's okay that it takes its time getting where it needs to go. At least that's my opinion. Obviously, play whatever you want. That's just my poor attempts at trying to use the squadron. All right, so that's the YV-666. Let's move on to Bosk, like a Bosk. So Bosk is unique. You can only ever have one Bosk in your fleet, and again, he's flying the Hound's Tooth, so somebody else is also flying the Hound's Tooth. There is only one Hound's Tooth. Bosk is 23 points and comes with a single brace token. He can move in the yellow box there again up to distance 3. He still has 7 hull. He throws 4 black dice on the offense, and his anti-ship ornament is 1 black dice, 1 blue die. So I feel Bosk is pretty reasonable, especially with his ability. He gets grit and he gets rogue, which we've already covered. He loses heavy, so he's great for engaging enemy fighters and keeping them tied down, because his ability is, while attacking, if you have 6 or fewer hull points remaining, you may add 1 blue die set to the accuracy icon in your attack pool. Meaning that if you ever shoot him and he drops from 7 health to 6 health or below, he's going to automatically gain a blue die set to an accuracy icon to blast away at like your scatter races, or if someone has already like softened up one of your double brace ace, you can accuracy like their green brace and they have to discard their exhausted brace. He's just really good. The only issue again with him is lack of rerolls. It's like, yeah, he throws 4 black dice and it's a 75% chance of hit, but man, nothing just makes you go, oh, I should be able to kill that guy, and you roll 4 black dice and then there's all blanks. Same thing with his anti-ship attack. You're thinking, oh great, I can go after like those flotillas, I can lock that scatter and throw some damage in, and just nothing makes you feel bad when you just don't roll any damage. But he still has a purpose, and he is great for going after counter aces, because it's like, you can shoot them, and if they shoot you back, they're going to ping you, and then you're going to be able to start hitting them with that accuracy damage afterwards. So that's kind of like a few points he excels at. I don't think I'm missing anything else in regards to any other special abilities. Just it's pretty plain and simple. Pretty much less than 7 health, he gets an accuracy icon with any attack that he makes, whether it's anti-squadron or anti-ship or a counter. If you're using, if he gets granted counter by somebody like Dengar, for example. Having this speed 3, just, he's beefy with that 7 hull, but again, single brace means if he does just get focus fire, he will go down quickly. Alright, let's get to the longest portion of the video, when I get quite a few questions about this guy, and I don't blame him. This guy is crazy. I'm just going to get rid of these. We're going to talk about Morello Evol. Or Morello Evol. The guy from the Clone Wars show, who's a butthole. Anyway, he again has a little dotted bullet point in front of his name. Now, he is flying a generic YV-666, meaning that you can bring him and Bosk. He's not flying anybody's ship. He's just flying around in a freighter. It's a generic freighter. And again, he can move distance up to distance 3. Again, 7 hull. He does throw double blue, double black, which, personal opinion, guys, for anti-squadron armament, I think double blue, double black is just like, it's perfect. Anyway, anti-ship armament is 2 blue die. He's 22 points, so only 1 point less than Bosk, and again, only has the single brace. Also has grit and rogue. So what makes this guy so crazy? It's his card ability. So let's read it. When an objective token at distance 1 to 2 and not on an obstacle is moved or removed from the play area, you may move up to distance 1 and attack as if you were activated. So let's talk about some crazy things with Morello here. So the couple things I want to point out is that the objective token needs to be at distance 1 to 2 of you. What does that mean? So if we pop out the range band here, we got distance 1 is the black, red is 2, 3, 4, 5. So for example, this objective token was just barely even touching at that distance 2, that is at distance 2. If that token is picked up and removed from the play area, or otherwise a strategic squadron comes along and moves it, it will activate Morello. What's the timing on that? Just so you know. So as soon as the Lambda Squadron picks up the objective token and then sets it back down, for example, if the Lambda is doing this like he moved first, but before the Lambda can actually attack anything, Morello is like, wait, before you move forward, my card ability interrupts after you've placed that token or removed it, and I get to do something, and then it's back to you. So to walk the whole thing out, we'll say the token's here. Lambda shuttle flies up, says, "Oh, I'm just gonna pull that token away real quick. Okay, and now I want to attack something." Morello says, "Oh, no, wait, I can do my thing. I'm gonna move, and now I'm gonna shoot you. And then now you can shoot after I've shot you." So that's the timing of everything. And he doesn't have to obviously go fly up and shoot the Lambda if there's something else that he wants to attack, maybe another ship or something like that. So he's really good on objectives where people are wanting to bring objective tokens and move them around a lot, like fire lanes, sensor nets. There's quite a few others I'll touch on. So he's just kind of a little short interrupt there. I want to make sure again that I was pointing that timing out. So again, when this objective token is moved or picked up, though, if it is on an obstacle, for example, this debris field, and Lambda flies up and yoinks it off and moves it, that does not resolve Morello's card ability. Because again, it's on an obstacle. So on objective token at distance 1 to 2 and not on an obstacle. So if it's on an obstacle and gets moved, does not resolve the ability. Even if this token, for example, was hanging, let's say, 3/4 of the way off the obstacle, is it technically overlapping the obstacle? Yes, it's on it. You know, it's not in, it's in the play area as defined on, you know, all the pieces in the play area, but it is still technically on an obstacle. It's overlapping an obstacle. So you would be able to yoink that and move that away, and again, would not resolve Evol's ability. What about something like Contested Outpost, just real quick, which is, you know, it doesn't obstruct, it doesn't prevent line of sight or anything like that. It's still technically an obstacle. So even though it's not obstructing anything or removing a die from obstruction or when you draw a line of sight, it's still on an obstacle when it gets moved. Again, does not resolve Evol's ability. All right. Let's get into the Karm because there's more stuff. And I can't always just remember everything. And when you are resolving Evol's ability, again, it's as if you've been activated, so you can attack and or move in any order when resolving this essentially free activation. This activation, if Morello is unactivated, does not activate Evol. So you don't tab a slider over, or if a slider is tabbed, it stays tapped. It doesn't untab. What about, let's see here. Right, I think I covered, oh, no, I didn't. So another thing with objective tokens, so let's say Evol's over here, and you take this objective token, and you toss it, let's move them over a little bit, and you toss it from where it originally is, you know, right there, and then you move it to within distance 1 to 2 of Evol, does not resolve Evol's ability. Because again, it specifically states when a token is moved or removed at distance 1 to 2. Meaning, the starting position is what matters, not the ending position. So if it starts at distance 1 to 2 of Evol and is moved or removed, will resolve Evol. But if it starts someplace else and then ends up at distance 1 to 2 of him, or is placed there, does not resolve Evol. Because again, that's specifically what his card states. The token has to be at distance 1 to 2, and it has to move or be removed at that instance. It's not where it ends up. Okay, I think I'm pretty clear on that. All right. You can see here I got a lot of text. I'll just try to go over this in brief and not specifically go into a whole slew of detail. What about ships that have objective tokens on them? Like, for example, opening salvo. And when the ship with the opening salvo objective token, when it shoots and it has to remove the objective token off its ship card, does that resolve Evol? No, it does not. Because again, the objective token is not in the play area. It is on the ship's ship card, which is not in the play area. So even though the ship itself is in the play area, that's not where the objective token is. When you have an objective token on a ship, it is physically off the table. It is on a ship card. That ship itself is not considered an objective token. It does not resolve Evol's ability. So again, to run through it real fast, ship with opening salvo shoots. It spends the objective token to add the dice. Does that resolve evol? No, it does not. Okay. And these ones I'm just going to read. It's just because to go through and show each one is just, it would be way long video. All right, objectives that contain objective tokens that can be moved or removed to resolve the card ability are as follows, or as I'm going to read off here. We've got targeting beacons, capture the VIP, planetary ion cannon, hyperspace assault, fleet ambush, fire lanes, jamming barrier, dangerous territory, intel sweep, minefield, salvage run, sensor net, infested fields, and hyperspace migration. Those are all the objectives that have objective tokens where you have the ability to move or remove the objective token from the play area. Now note that the objective navigational hazards has objective tokens that can only be placed and removed on obstacles at the end of the round and then at the start of the round respectively. Thus, you would never be able to resolve Morello Evol's card ability because it's at the very end of round. There's nothing that can, at least not yet, that can change that. And then at the start of the round, the objective tokens are immediately removed again. It does not resolve Evol's ability at all, period. There's no way to somehow get in there and take a token off. There's just, it's impossible as of this video, as of right now. So this card ability, we move on to the next paragraph here. This card ability may be resolved regardless of which player moves or removes an objective token in the play area at distance 1 to 2 of Evol. And it's, again, it's not on an obstacle. Examples of what can move or remove the objective token. Again, things that can move the objective token. We've got strategic. We have fire lanes, only during setup, obviously. Hyperspace assault, those tokens move around. Sensor net. Objectives that can remove the token, capture the VIP. Planetary ion cannon, when you shoot, you are removing the token from the play area. Hyperspace assault, when those tokens are moving around or removed when you do utilize that ability. Fleet ambush is a really, really weird one because fleet ambush it's after setup but before the start of the first round. Now, typically, it states in RNG no card effects can resolve during setup. But Fleet Ambush specifically states that you remove objective tokens after setup. So it is a very weird short timing window that even before you even say, okay, start of the first round, it is technically after setup when you remove the objective tokens that you can resolve Evol's ability once. It's really weird. I don't think that that's going to be a meta thing, but I have to point it out. Obviously, other objective tokens when they're removed, like minefields, salvage run, intel sweep. All right, I think you guys, if you have questions about any objectives or how things may or may not work, of course, leave a comment and let me know. It's just, it would be too much to go over every single instance as played out on Vassal. But of course, if you guys think that I got anything wrong or if I missed something or you have a specific question, please be sure to message me, point it out, let me know about it. You guys are all fantastic, and hey, I'll catch you guys all next time.